Good morning, friends. It is Monday morning, the 22nd, I believe. And as you see, I'm sitting out on my front deck. It's beginning to feel like fall, and I've really been enjoying the mornings. It still gets pretty warm in the afternoons, but I've just really been enjoying the mornings, being able to open up my windows and let some fresh air into the house. So I thought I would start this weekly vlog with a little story time about what happened over the weekend. So Friday started off town-wide garage sales in the small town closest to us. And Saturday, we were supposed to go pick up our pork from the butcher. We buy a pig from a friend every year, and always this time of year in August, it's ready to be picked up. Now, something you might not know about my husband, I might have mentioned it a little in the past, is that he really likes to garage sale, especially town-wide garage sales. And so we were trying to figure out how we could do both, the town-wide garage sales and go pick up our pork. And the butcher that it goes to is about an hour and 15 minutes away from us, so it's not a quick trip. So I suggested that he take Friday off of work. He hasn't had any vacation this summer, and so take Friday off. We'll go garage sailing on Friday. The first day of a garage sale is always better anyway. And then Saturday we can take our time and go pick up the pork. So that's what he decided to do. And let me tell you, I am so glad he took Friday off, because our plans were drastically changed suddenly and unexpectedly. So we were planning on getting up not super early on Friday and just kind of taking our time and try to get out of the house by 10 o'clock or so to go garage sailing. Well, about 7:40, something like that, Olivia told me that she woke up and she had a backache, which is not, super uncommon for people to, if you sleep funny or whatever. And it was on her right side, her back. And so she said she sat up in bed to stretch her back, and the minute she sat up, she got this excruciatingly sharp pain in her abdomen. It wrapped around from her back around into her belly button. She said she tried a few things on her own to alleviate it, and it just kept getting worse and worse. So about 8 o'clock, so about 20 minutes, she tried to get things, figure out what was going on and make it better. She came into my bedroom, because I was still in bed, kind of dozing. I wasn't completely asleep, but I was kind of sleeping in and on and off. And she was practically doubled over, holding her right side, breathing very rapidly, pale, as white as a sheet. And she's like, Mom, I have pain. And she's holding her right side. And I bolt out of bed and try to assess the situation, asking her some questions, any other symptoms? Yeah, I'm nauseous. Does it hurt anywhere else? All the typical questions, because I'm thinking immediately she's having an appendicitis attack and her appendix is about to burst. So her dad says, go sit down. So she goes and sits down in the living room, and she's just holding her side and really, really in pain. And within 5 minutes, I look at him and said, she needs to go to the ER, because I'm thinking, like I said, burst appendix. Her appendix is gonna burst. She needs emergency surgery. So she gets whisked to the ER. Thank goodness. And the reason why I say thank goodness Scott was home is that I am not great in emergency situations, especially when it's involving my children. I get panicked And, you know, the fight or flight thing happens with me, and mine's like, it's fight, flight, or freeze, and I tend to freeze and panic and just go to pieces. So thank goodness he was home. But anyway, so she gets whisked to the ER, and she gets in fairly quickly. There was only one other person ahead of her. So thankful for that. She gets to see the doctor quite quickly. Within, okay, so let's say she gets to the ER about 8:30. Let's say it's about 8:30. By 9-ish, she's been seen by the doctor, and right away they don't think it's appendix. They think kidney stone. I didn't know someone who's so young could have a kidney stone. So she has to do a urine sample. Poor thing, she ends up getting sick, vomiting. They get her in for a CT scan, and sure enough, she has a kidney stone. But the thing that's even something I can be super thankful for is that, you know, they got her hooked up to an IV, and they were going to give her pain medicine and something for the nausea. And she said before they even really got the IV hooked up to her, the pain was starting to subside. So they went ahead and gave her pain medicine and nausea medicine. So when she went and had the CT scan, she was completely pain-free. And the results came back pretty quickly, and they said that the pain is when the stone leaves the kidney and is going through the ureter, and once it reaches the bladder, then the pain subsides. So that kidney stone left her kidney, let's say around 7:30, and by 9, it was already in her bladder. And so it passed very quickly. They didn't have to do anything. They didn't even prescribe her any pain medication. She was home by 10 o'clock, and she went to the bathroom right away, and she passed the stone. And it was the size of a grain of salt, like a larger grain of salt or a grain of sand. I mean, it was tiny. I mean, it was visible to the eye, but it was tiny. And to think that something that small could cause such horrific pain is just, wow. Wow. I've never had a kidney stone. I don't ever want to have a kidney stone, because both of my sisters have had kidney stones, and now my daughter, and they say it's just the most excruciating thing. The one thing I would ask that you give prayer to is that they said she does have another kidney stone still in her kidney, but it's not big. It's nothing to really worry about. They said it could pass any time, or it could pass in decades. But the fact that she has this potential situation happening to her again, she's like, I don't want to do that again, Mom. I don't want to do that again. Now, I've heard there's ways that you can like dissolve the kidney stones by what you drink, like if you drink lemon juice or apple cider vinegar or anything like that. If you guys have any experience with dissolving kidney stones and you know of a way to do it, please let me know in the comment section below, because if she could just dissolve that thing and not have to go through another one of those, even if it's when she's 70 years old, I don't want her going through that again. So anyway, that was our Friday morning. But the funny thing is she got home, like I said, I think they got home around 10-ish, 10:30. She was feeling great. She was hungry. She wanted to eat. She passed the stone. And so by 11, we were out the door, and we went garage sailing anyway, and she was fine. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she was exhausted, and her pain, she was starting to get a little bit achy. The pain medicine they had given her was wearing off. So we came home, she took some Tylenol, and she just rested. But it was really weird because the whole weekend, Saturday mainly, but then Sunday a little bit too, she was just sore everywhere. Her whole body was just sore. Her arms were sore, like muscle soreness, and it must have been from being so tense from the pain. She had bruises and weird spots, and it's like, man, did you beat yourself up? What happened? But yeah, it was an ordeal. But thank the Lord Scott was home, and thank the Lord she passed that stone quickly. I mean, she could still be suffering. I've heard of people that it takes days to pass a stone. Hers passed in like 3 hours. So we're super thankful for that, and thankful that she's over it. But in the back of my mind, I still have that little bit of worry that she still has that stone in her kidney. All right, I've chatted on for nearly 10 minutes. That's going to make this vlog extra long. So I'm going to go ahead and get on with our day. Olivia and I have plans to get tomatoes canned, the ones that we processed last week. And before I do that, I have to go pick more tomatoes. I'm sure they're ready. And I need to visit my dad. I haven't visited him in too long because I've been so busy. So I'm going to get off of here, go visit my dad, and pick tomatoes. And then we're going to get to processing them. These are the tomatoes we did last week. And they were in the freezer, and I had Olivia get them out of the freezer on Saturday. And they were still pretty icy, as you can see. But I've got them in this roaster pan. I'm going to get them up to a simmer, and so that they're nice and hot to can. And then oh, there's the timer. Here's the ones that we picked this morning. That's the last batch. The timer just went off for those. So we're going to get these processed, and then we're going to just add them to, move slowly, add them to the roaster. And when everything's hot, we will can them. I've got my canning jars in the dishwasher, running through a cycle. And I got to get my water bath canner up here. I got to read the book and remind myself how to do it because it's been a while. But that's where we're at with the tomatoes. And then we have this big basket full that need to ripen. I went ahead and picked them pretty heavily today, and I picked quite a few that were still slightly green, just so I don't have to go out and pick them every single day. So we got almost a full bowl again. Look how juicy those tomatoes are. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the cooker and let that come up to a simmer. The jars are still in the dishwasher, so it's going to be a little while before we get to the actual canning process, but at least the tomato processing part of it is done. And this is what we had for supper on Monday night. Something very, very simple, because we were exhausted from canning tomatoes. So I just made some chicken salad out of canned chicken. I had it on a sandwich skinny. I had a small handful of buffalo wing pretzels. They were very spicy. And some cucumbers. Well, good Tuesday morning, everyone. Here are the fruits of our labors yesterday. Got 21 pints of tomatoes. I would have done quarts, but I don't have any quart jars. All I've got is pints, so that's what we did, and we got 21 of them. Canning is a long process. We didn't get the last batch out of the canner until probably 7:30 last night, but they're nice and cooled off now, and it looks like all of them have sealed. I will double check that later. I'm going to take the rings off and wipe them down, write the date on them, and make sure they're sealed good. And we'll give half of this to my sister because she's helped with the garden, and we'll keep half and put it down in our storage, our food pantry. So that was a good day's work. Olivia and I have to run over to Dollar General as soon as she gets done with chores, mainly because we need ice, and of course I'm going to pick up a few other things. So when I get back, or when we get back I should say, I will show you what we picked up from Dollar General. This is what we picked up at the Dollar General store. I just picked up a little bit more of my low-calorie snacks. These little mini cakes are really yummy, and they're very low-calorie. They are 120 calories, and you get 22 little cakes. And then I got some more of these Outshine grape flavored fruit bars. These are very delicious. These are 60 calories for one bar. Then Olivia picked up these. She loves Funyuns, and usually Funyuns have milk in them, but these little Funyun flavored chips did not. So she got those to eat with her lunch today, as well as this pineapple flavored Mountain Dew Maui Burst. So those are the only food items we got. We did get our bag of ice. It's in the freezer already. These are the things I got just for my stock up for my prepper pantry. Got some more ketchup, a big old bottle of ketchup. Some more shampoo that Scott and Travis use. A big old thing of Tylenol. That should last us a really long time. I'm just thinking ahead to the winter. We don't get colds often, but when we do, it's nice to have. This is like the Dollar General brand of Dayquil, so it's nice to have that. And then, as I've mentioned numerous times, we get a lot of sinus headaches around here, so I just picked up some more of these sinus pills. These two items were in the dollar aisle. I thought that was an excellent deal for this bathroom cleaner, and I like the Totally Awesome brand. Usually they work really well, and it's supposed to get rid of soap scum, mold, and mildew. So I'm always looking for a good bathroom cleaner. Hopefully this is good. I haven't found one I've fallen in love with yet. This is like Woolite. This was also $1. That was an excellent deal. I don't do like hand wash or cold water wash often. I don't have very many of those types of clothes, but every so often we do need a gentle laundry soap, and this is also from the Totally Awesome brand. So, and for $1, this should last us a really long time. Then, of course, I could not avoid or could not pass up the little fall decor. I thought these little scarecrows were so adorable. Couldn't decide which pattern I liked the best, so I got all three of them. They were only $1 each. So this one, I love the muted tones of their clothes. You know, I've said before, I'm going to try to go with the more, like, not super bright orange decor this fall. So these guys are adorable. And then I got this big thing of paper towels. And then the last thing I got was a big old thing of puppy pads. I use these down with my baby chicks to keep their area clean. And birds are so messy, especially chickens. And as they grow, they get messier and messier. So we have to completely clean their area every single day. And it takes about 9 puppy pads to cover their area. So we go through 9 puppy pads a day. And so, yeah, I needed to get these. These are not cheap. It's $20 for these 75 pads. But maybe this, well, using 9 a day, it probably won't last us until we put them outside. Probably have to buy one more package one more time to get us till we're hoping to keep them in the house till they're about a month old, then put them outside. So anyway, that's my little Dollar General haul. I thought I'd share with you my recipe for what we're having for supper tonight. It's called cheeseburger pasta, and it's a 1-pot or 1 skillet meal, and I have figured out the calorie content for it. This will make 8 servings and pretty decent amount of pretty sizable serving, and the calories per serving are 452. So however you make yours will can change the calorie content, obviously. I am using a lean ground pork as my meat. If you used ground chicken or ground turkey, it might lower the calories a little bit. If you used ground beef, it will raise the calories a bit. And I also have 1 cup of onion, in here, and I didn't count the calories in the onions because onions have so few calories that, you know, negligible. And then once it's almost brown, which is where we're at right now, you're going to add a tablespoon of garlic. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. And then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce and 2 tablespoons of ketchup. And you want to just mix this all together till the meat is completely cooked and browned. When it gets to this point, you're going to add 2 cans of beef broth. Plus 1 cup of water. Just give that a stir, and then you're going to add to this pan 16 ounces of pasta of your choice. I happen to have elbow macaroni, so that's what I'm going to add. Stir this in. Put the lid on the pan and you cook it. Maybe the recipe says 20 minutes, but it just depends on what kind of pasta you're using. You want it till all the liquid is absorbed and the pasta is done. I will bring you back and show you what you do next. We're almost done. It's that simple. So this did not take 20 minutes. It took more like, steam, 12 minutes probably. Mainly probably because I used elbow pasta and it didn't take nearly as long to cook. So at this point, there's one final step. You need to add a half a cup of milk, and I'm using almond milk. If you use cow's milk, that too will increase the calories. And then 8 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese. This is our dairy-free cheese, and it too has less calories than regular cheese. So you just have to keep that take that into consideration when you make this. If you use beef and dairy versions of things, the calories will be more than 452. But if you don't care about calories and you just want to make this recipe, then make it however you want to. Alright, you just cook this then until the cheese is nice and melty, and it's ready to serve. So this is what I had for supper. That is a 452 calorie helping of that cheeseburger pasta. That is half a cup of peas for 60 calories, but those peas were not very good. They were frozen peas and they tasted very old, like they were hard. I don't know, they weren't very good. So I only ate about half of those, so I only counted 30 calories for that. And then in the little white cup is some yellow watermelon. Never seen yellow watermelon before. I found it at an Amish food stand or produce stand, and it was really delicious, absolutely delicious. I actually saved some of the seeds of it, and I'm going to try growing some next summer. But anyway, that was my supper for a total of 532 calories. Happy Wednesday morning, everyone. I received my Thrive Market order. I don't order from them every month, but I do order from them occasionally. And this is what I ended up picking up, just some kind of staples. This was a free item. You can choose one free gift. I'm going to have to look into these. I'm not sure. Let's see, organic sweet stevia. I'll have to look at all the ingredients and see if I can actually use these. But yeah, I thought that sounded interesting. That's why I chose that. And then I ended up thinking ahead to the holidays. I picked up a few things for that. I got some of this sweetened condensed coconut milk for some of our baking that we may do for Christmas and Thanksgiving. And so I got 2 cans of that. And then I got this coconut sugar, but it's vanilla coconut sugar. It's got vanilla flavoring in it. I thought that would be kind of neat to try. And then I picked up some more stevia. These are like the little individual packets. You can keep them in your purse or keep them by your, in your coffee station or whatever. I don't drink coffee anymore, but I do drink tea. And so I needed some more stevia for that. This was one of the things I was thinking ahead for Thanksgiving. Yes, I can make my own turkey gravy. I know how, but sometimes turkeys don't put off very much juice or broth, you might want to say, and it's nice to have this as a backup or for leftovers. If you use all your gravy and you still have leftover turkey, you can use these to whip it up. Or whip up some gravy, I should say. So I got 4 packs of that. I got this Garden Ranch mix just because it's very, very difficult to find ranch anything that doesn't have dairy in it. And this does not have dairy, and you can add it to dairy-free sour cream and make your own ranch, either dip or salad dressing. So I got 3 packs of that. And then I got some taco seasoning. I got quite a few packs, 6 packs of taco seasoning. This is another thing that, yes, I can make my own, and I do often. But it is sometimes very nice if you're in a hurry and you don't want to have to drag all the different spices out, just to throw in a packet of taco seasoning mix. So I picked up some of those just to keep on hand. And then I got some individual spices. I got some cumin, ground cumin, and then everything but the bagel spice blend. Olivia especially likes that. I got some more of my little individual single serving chocolates for my reduced calorie diet that I'm on. These all have 70 calories per little bar, and I enjoy just a little chocolate in the evenings. So this is perfect because they're already portioned out. And then I've got some cranberries. If you bought these, you had to buy 3 packages. Sometimes that's how they do their stuff at Thrive Market. But I got some of these whole cranberries sweetened with apple juice. These are really good. I've had these in the past. And then the last item I got, and it's not a food item, it is a cleaning product for your kitchen sink or any kind of hard surface. You know how I love to scrub my kitchen sink, and what attracted me to this is the scent, peppermint tea tree. I absolutely love tea tree. So maybe I will scrub my sink today with this and show you guys how it turns out. So that's my little Thrive Market haul. I looked at these little hydration mix things. I looked at each one, and there's nothing in them that should cause me any kind of problems. So I will be enjoying these. It comes with cherry pomegranate, raspberry, blue raspberry, grape, lemonade, and orange. And they're all like, I guess you'd call like Powerade or Gatorade, like a healthier version of that. And they're all sweetened with stevia. So yeah, keep those in my cupboard and drink those on occasion. I am going to try this on my sinks here, and it's basic instructions. Wet the surface, sprinkle, rub with a wet sponge or cloth, and rinse. That's what it looks like. Smells really good. I smell peppermint mainly. There's a big clump in here, so I think, oh, it broke up easily. I think I'm just going to sprinkle it with my hands because it doesn't have like a shaker can. And my sponge is already wet. So not bad at all. I really like it. The only thing I would say is I mostly smelled the peppermint. I didn't smell the tea tree that much, and I really love the smell of tea tree. So that's just a little bit disappointing to me, but I like the smell of peppermint too, and it did a fantastic job scrubbing my sink and making them nice and shiny. And this is what we had for supper on Wednesday night. These are just some homemade, I didn't make them, but like Amish noodles, homemade style. They were made with spinach and carrots, and just some fried meat and a little bit of gravy, and just something I throw together when I'm in a hurry and I don't have any other ideas for supper. And then I had some broccoli and some more of that yellow watermelon for a total of 538 calories. Good Thursday morning, friends. Oh, I'm telling you, I'm dealing with not feeling so great today. I just got out of the shower. My sinuses and allergies are just going wild. I started with a headache last night, and it has continued till this morning. I sound congested and nasally, and I've got a headache, and I keep sneezing. But the day must go on. I am going to wrap up the vlog today. It seems like the last couple of weekly vlogs have started Monday, ended Thursday. It's just how my schedule has worked out and how it's worked out best for me. And today I have so much to do, and in the middle of it I have to go do my physical therapy. It's not physical therapy, chiropractic therapy, which I am very grateful for. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I am feeling frustrated at the same time. As much as it is helping me, I'll be so glad when I don't have to drive to town twice a week. It just messes up my week, and it takes big chunks of time because the appointments are in the middle of the afternoon, so I don't want to start a big project in the morning. By the time I get back, it's time to start thinking about cooking dinner. So those 2 days are kind of a wash. As far as getting a lot done, and right this time of year there's a lot to be done, so that's where my frustration as well as my gratitude, it's kind of a split personality disorder going on there. Today is my last scheduled chiropractic appointment, but he did say something on Tuesday about continuing for a couple more weeks, just once a week instead of twice a week, which if it's just a couple more weeks, once a week, I can make it. I can make it. And I do think I still need it, unfortunately. I was hoping I wouldn't, but I still think I do. But let me turn the camera around and show you what's going on and one of the reasons why I'm feeling this frustration today. This is our little mini fridge that we have out in the entryway. We don't keep a whole lot in it. As you can see, there's seeds and some Zevia pop in the door, and it's nasty and needs to be cleaned out. But I keep a lot of like my specialty flowers in here, like things I don't want to go rancid, like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, that kind of stuff. And it is a little bit of an overflow for leftovers and whatnot if we run out of room in the big refrigerator. We've had this little mini fridge, I'm going to say at least 3 years, and we've never defrosted it. And the whole time that we've had it, it does have this tiny little freezer compartment up here, and it was so full of ice that this has been, I think, about 20 hours now of trying to defrost this little refrigerator. We did have a heater blowing on it at one point, but all that really accomplished was making our house hot. So we've just kind of let it do its thing naturally. But I really thought when I woke up this morning that all the ice would be gone. But as you see, there is still ice in there. And then there's a box of something back there. I have no clue what that is. It's obviously no good anymore. But so this has got, you know, this is consuming a lot of our time, a lot more time than I thought. I figured a couple hours, good, we're done. No. And that has taught me a lesson that we need to defrost that thing about once a year, not every 3 years. So because of that, my house is a wreck. This whole basket of stuff is things that were in that refrigerator that don't have to be refrigerated. I mean, they're fine sitting out here till the refrigerator gets plugged back in, but it's taking up space in my living room. Canning supplies, dehydrating supplies all over the floor. We got our Chewy.com order yesterday. Had to pull some stuff out of that. My canner, and you know, the perpetual dishes in the sink, and more tomatoes. And honestly, I don't really want to can anymore. I got 21 pints the other day, and I don't want to can anymore. I mean, I will if I absolutely have to, but I'd rather just process these, put them in freezer bags, and put them in the freezer. But we don't have a whole ton of freezer space either. But my problem is I don't even have time to deal with this today. I know the tomatoes probably need to be picked again. Don't have time for that. I don't have time for anything really, and so that's where my frustration is getting me. I did stick a couple of pork roasts in the cooker. Those will be for supper tonight and supper for the next several days. I cook up a bunch at one time, and then I don't have to worry about it. And then if there's extras left over in a couple of days, I can stick it in the freezer, and it'll already be cooked meat that we can use later. But that is what is going on in the house. And like I said, I'm just feeling frustrated and not really knowing what direction to go. I almost feel like not even touching it until the weekend and dealing with those tomatoes on Saturday, and not even, because I'm not going to film on Saturday. That's one of the reasons I don't film Friday, Saturday, Sunday, is because I have got so much to do, and when I film it, it takes extra time. So there's that. Then I want to go to the little farm stand. In fact, I'm going to head out the door here shortly to go to the little farm stand. When they've still got sweet corn, and I have to decide, do I want to buy enough just to eat, or do I want to buy a little extra to put more in the freezer? But then again, there's another project, and do I have time for that project? You know, maybe I could work on it tomorrow, get some corn and get it in the freezer tomorrow. I don't know. Quandaries. I mean, you know, these are good problems to have, I guess. Lots and lots of food and lots of things to process, but it's still a problem. So anyway, let me finish getting ready to go. We'll go to the farm stand, and then I want to show you that mysterious plant that's growing in Jenny's pen. Olivia's out doing chores. Got the chickens and the ducks. We just let the chickens and ducks run together now, and they do really well. They seem perfectly content. Here's Miss Sally. Miss Sally, what are you doing? Are you having fun? Jin Jin. And the monster plant. It is definitely, most definitely, a pumpkin. And Olivia had to take it down off the fence because it was blocking the gate. She couldn't get the gate open. But it's a good thing she did, because look, this is that little plant, little pumpkin I showed you last week that was about the size of a tennis ball, and it was still green. And look it. It's turning orange. It's getting bigger. Travis is excited. He wants me to make a pumpkin pie out of it. I don't know. It's probably not a pie pumpkin, but it might still work. I don't see any more fruit on it. Tons of blossoms, but it's the end of August, so I don't think, even if these blossoms amounted to fruit, that it would have time to do anything. But it's pretty cool. We're getting a pumpkin. We're getting a pumpkin off of just a volunteer plant. I bought some pumpkins. I buy pumpkins every year for decorative purposes, and then when they start to get soft, we throw them into the chickens, and one of them grew. It's still amazing to me how humongous this plant is. Oh, look. Another little baby. Oh, if we don't get an early frost, maybe it will mature. I don't know. And there's Mr. Troublemaker. Hi, Mr. Troublemaker. What are you doing? Why are you eating grass? Why are you eating grass, silly boy? Oliver, are you a goat? Goats don't even eat grass. Are you a sheep? I know, dogs just eat grass sometimes. It doesn't necessarily mean they have a stomach ache. So there are omnivores just like people. Dogs are. All right, let me get in the house. It looks like it's gonna rain at any minute, and I'll show you what I picked up at the little farm stand. Before I go in, though, I wanted to show you this morning glory. I love morning glories. This is completely volunteer. Came up, and I will leave it. I will leave it to go to seed, and hopefully every year then I will get morning glories coming up. My lavender, not doing so great. I think next year I'm going to move it around to the front of the house so I can take better care of it. And the strawberries, Olivia picked them heavy yesterday, although I do see one right there that she missed. And they are, I think, getting ready to go to sleep for the winter. But they have done super good this year. I'm very pleased. So they had corn. I ended up getting 3 dozen. The guy who owned the little stand happened to be out there at the time when I was talking to him. And come to find out, he was an old neighbor. He grew up just down the road from me, but I didn't really recognize him. But it was nice to see him. Anyhow, they had their corn $4 a dozen. This is the last of it out of the one patch, and he said there's another patch that's about ready to be ripe, and hopefully by the end of next week, so I can maybe go back and get one more big load and to get in the freezer. But we will eat a little bit of this tonight, and then Olivia and I will process the rest of it tomorrow. But $3 or 3 dozen at $4 a dozen. So I wanted to just go ahead and just spend 20 bucks. They didn't have any kale, which I was hoping to have, but they didn't have it. So I ended up getting some of their goat milk soap, $3 a bar. This is Cool Musk scent, and then this is the apple pie scent. And then to make an even 20, I got some of these little dog treats for $2, and I just love the little bag they're in. They're so cute. So that's what I picked up at the little farm stand that's just down the road from me, across the field. And this is what we had for supper on Thursday night. I had pork. This is 3 ounces of pork roast for 261 calories, 1 cob of corn with no butter. I just put Mexican seasoning and salt on it for 59 calories. Some more of that yummy yellow watermelon for 50 calories, and a half a cup of couscous
also with no oil or butter or anything on it, just some more of that Mexican seasoning for 88 calories for a total of 461 calories.
Alright, so this is my weekly update on my chicken babies. And as you see, they are growing like crazy. They're not growing as fast as the meat birds, obviously, but they are definitely growing. You can definitely see their feathers now on their wings. Let me zoom in. Yep, they're starting to get little tail feathers. And they are starting to do little trial flight, which is not going to be good because if they start flying, they will have to go in the outside coop much sooner than we expected because we can't be having them fly all over the basement. That would not be good. But they're doing good, and they're very active little critters. It won't be much longer and they won't need the little heater anymore. I don't even know if they spend much time under it anymore. But it's there in case they get chilled. You know where to go. And they definitely don't eat as much feed as my 50 meat birds did. This is a 50-pound bag of medicated starter, and it's still got 3/4 of a bag left, and this is the beginning of week 3. We've had them for 2 full weeks now, and yeah, that feed will last a long time. I think even when they get full grown, they don't eat as much as those meat birds did. Oh, and another new thing you may notice is the cardboard around. And we took the ring out. That ring lasted a day after my last update. By that next day, we had to take the ring out, and we put the cardboard so they wouldn't get caught in this, in between the fence and the netting, because they're just so crazy. And look at them, they have that urge to scratch, even from little bitties. We just 5 minutes ago finished cleaning this cage out, and they've already pooped in here numerous times. There's some underneath there. Silly little guys. So they do go under there. Well, that answers that question. Alright friends, I just wanted to go ahead and close out this weekly vlog with my weekly update on my babies. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. And we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye, friends.